Welcome back. Inspiration Education, episode 40.
40! Can you believe it?
Holy cow.
It's a little bit late. We meant to do 40 before the end of the school year, but oh well.
Yeah, and
Doesn't
we
matter.
have with us some of our most favorite people in the whole wide world.
Yes. I'll let you introduce that side. I'll introduce this side.
Perfect. Okay, so they're all graduated seniors of the school we work at, Desert Christian. And this is Amelia Thorson, and she's going to talk a little bit about why she's here on this episode.
And this is Sass Tucker, and her faithful companion, Matthew Espenson, and they collaborated on a piece for us.
Yes.
Let them talk about that in a second.
Yeah, we are super excited about this episode because it is a milestone for us.
Mm-hmm.
We committed last year to record one episode every week as our own teacher professional development, and we actually did that.
We did it. So impressed.
So the reason why this episode is so important.
Well, we're trying to have a YouTube channel, and we of course notice as we watch things on YouTube that everybody has like a little jingle and a little animation, and we're like, we want to have a jingle and animation, but we Pope. we can't.
We're teachers, yo.
We're teachers. And so, we can't have like this professional sort of company come in. And so I think I maybe even posted too. I'm not sure quite in the story, but I was like, why don't we ask some of our students? They're the ones who know us. You guys are the ones who've actually been watching our episodes. Not just teachers watch our episodes, but our own students watch them. You were an unofficial guest host or guest collaborator, and I don't know how many episodes.
Gosh, you must have been in on half of them at least, in one way or another.
You guys appeared in a ton of episodes, and so you know us. You know our hearts. You know what our mission was in serving teachers through this blog. So I'm like, well, we should ask the people who know us best.
Well, not only do they know us well, but we asked them because they have their own talents that we thought that they could hopefully help us, that they could share with us.
Talk about how you came up with the idea of what to put in the flip book.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, so
the importance of that.
What you're going to notice now, this little animation that Amelia created for us as a flip book I just had this thought that for years now in our professional development, there was this wonderful lady who mentored us. Her name is Janet Hale, and she lives here locally in the Tucson area, and she is a fantastic mentor for curriculum. One of the slides that she presented to us as teachers and our colleagues was of a person on a mountain who had just climbed a portion of the mountain, and they had sat down on a bench, and they were able from that purview to be able to see how far they'd come and how hard it was to come that far, but then also how much further they had yet to go. And for us, it was like this metaphor of teaching, for us as teachers as we grow, but also for our students, in that if we're teaching right, our students are hopefully able to at some point rest in the middle of the year and go, whoa, we learned a lot. It was hard, it was a long hike, but we learned a lot. And hopefully instill in them a love of learning where they're willing then to keep going in whatever field and whatever love that they have for their education, and to keep going
or whatever
on that hike
it is,
and
whether
learn.
they're a business person or whatever, just keep going.
So that's why you've seen the flip book, the little stick person is going, and then he's just like, rests on the bench, and then he's like, oh, I'm gonna keep going, and that's what education should be. It should be hopefully a lifelong learning if we're teaching well. How long have you been an artist?
I mean, ever since I was young, I've been working through art. I've never actually taken an art class specifically in high school. I kind of just play around and teach myself, but it's been something that I've done my whole life.
And she makes watercolors and all kinds of things, and we're like, Amelia, we want this like animation, but we're not really sure. Like, we know what we want, but we don't know how to make it happen. And when you're like, I can do a flip book.
Yeah, we threw out the idea of doing a flip book, and I've never made a flip book before. Actually, in middle school, I used to do kind of like a flip book. I did a little animation on the side of my chapel notes journal, but otherwise I'd never done this before, so I was very excited to jump into it and try something new.
So how about these two artists over here?
All right, so why don't you, we said, hey, you want to make a jingle? And you're like, Sure.
True.
Yeah, but talk about kind of your development process and how you did that.
Well, this is my first experience ever doing
Really?
anything like this. So like I do music a lot and I write my own stuff just for fun and like just an outlet, but I've never done something for someone else, especially like a jingle.
The really interesting thing about asking Sass to do this jingle for us is we were like, so Sass, can you do a jingle for us? But we like had no idea what we want. Like absolutely zero idea. I don't know what lyrics
We gave her
want.
nothing.
I didn't know that you gave her some like guidance because I got none. No, nothing.
No, you got nothing. The name of the channel is Inspiration Education. That's all you got.
She came up with this jingle all on her own, and that's I think when we had the idea of, oh my gosh, we really ought to bring them in on this episode, because for you to just come up with that all on your own really speaks volumes, I think, about your understanding of education,
Right.
And
Right,
of
as
us
being a learner.
and that kind of thing. So do you want to talk about that a little bit, where the lyrics came from and all that?
Yeah, so I kind of combined the two different things because again, I didn't have really much guidance. So I combined the two things that I knew about you guys in this context, and that was like what I had learned from your class and then what I had learned from your channel. And so the love of learning aspect of it came from your classes because that's really what you had hammered into us. And like,
That's cool.
I didn't know about the mountain thing, but that really makes a lot of sense in that, like, pretty much your class is like, holy cow, this is way too much work. Like, I'm gonna die. And then like you get halfway there and you're like, oh, like you take a little break and then you're like, that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Like let's keep going. Like I'm gonna keep doing this.
Listen to this.
And so
Right.
that's like the
Don't be
love of
discouraged.
learning. So that's like the love of learning part of it. And then I also was just like not even watching the videos but reading the titles of each video and like the essence of what you wanted
Wow.
to get, like what you wanted to get across through your videos and how I could combine those into lyrics.
That's really cool.
That's spectacular. You must love us.
I did not know that.
Yeah, a little
Not
bit.
the love part, but I didn't know that. So how about you, Matthew?
Yep. Yeah, so you invited Matthew into the process.
Yes.
So how
Well,
did this
yeah,
go?
so I mean, I just happened to kind of be there when she got the text, and she was like, "Can you help me?" And I got about as much guidance as she did. I mean, she told me that she wanted an upbeat, fun, like feel like it's going somewhere. And I mean, I think it was like literally the second try. We determined that like we had it. I mean, there was little things here and there that we fine-tuned, but I mean, it was almost immediately we came up with the melody and the background noise.
Yeah. So
right?
the
They come in.
jingle that like I could like have in my mind was like a mixture of like The Office with like Parks and Rec, like the piano, like yeah, and like I was like I just don't know how to like manifest that. And
Especially
that's-
without it sounding like we stole it.
Mhm.
Oh,
Which is another-
right.
Yeah.
So
right.
you two worked really well as a team.
Yeah, we really did. Yeah.
Yeah. And a little background piece of information is she would send us like 4 different melodies. They're called melodies,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And we'd get them in the text and we'd listen to them and go through it. And one of them, it's so funny, your mom is in the background and she's like, do, 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 do. I'm like, I want that one.
That's actually the one we picked.
Yeah.
It's the one that she's
Yeah.
in the back.
Yeah. So thank you all so much for helping us with this project.
It honors us that you would, give it yourselves that way, but to take the time. I mean, I didn't even know the full background of how you guys put it together, but you obviously spent and invested so much time to do that.
Yeah.
So thank you.
So now we're going to introduce you to the final version of our new jingle and our animation. So it's coming up here in just a second. And we thought we'd include a little bit of the background on how we put it all together today. We did it all in one day because it's not a professional thing, but we think it's going to be fun anyway.
It's gonna be awesome.
But that's episode 40. We want you to know I'm no longer going to be working at Desert Christian, or at least for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
So I'm moving over to the Middle East with my husband, and I have no idea what that future holds. This is not the end of IE. In fact, this is just the beginning, and we promise that we'll be back with quality episodes, but they won't be once a week.
No.
It's going to take a lot longer to put it all together.
But we have all sorts of great ideas, areas that we didn't even get to, maybe even focusing on some things from the side of an administrator. So we've got a lot of ideas of where we're going to go, but we are going to continue, I love what you said, to give you quality, to give you encouragement, to help you, to push you farther. Again, the idea of lifelong learning, whatever our focus is.
And my new role over there, I'll be volunteering with the PTO at an American international school. So hopefully I can bring you some bits of information from over there. What does it look like to, what does an international school look like? What does curriculum look like over there? So we'll hopefully have some of that forthcoming.
Try and bring you guys a bunch of perspectives.
Yep.
Okay, but you guys know our heart, so keep watching us, and we'll try and keep it pushed out there as often as we can.
Thanks for this wild ride on IE. We really appreciate it, and thank you all so much for being here with us today.
Thank you guys.
Oh, bird. See you all next time.
Thank you. Love you. Bye.
Teach your kids to love to learn, and they will learn to love to live in a world where there's so much to learn through inspiration, education.
And then he goes, and then there's back to the mountain.
That's insane.
It was so much fun to make.
I can't
It
even
did take a long time,
having to do
but
that.
it was fun.
Are we prequeling
Hi,
the,
I'm yeah.
We're prequeling
I'm
the flip book?
We
pre-recording.
didn't know we were pre-recording until we look over and there's
Inspiration, education.
Oh, okay.
But the timing doesn't work out, so you either have to hit this twice. Do 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 do. Yeah.
You know what?
See, this is why I brought him. What's that?
It's a polka.
You know what?
And you can do it in like a minor key, which makes it sound jazzy then. So you go.
Matthew, I was telling Zach that I didn't know.
Here we go. Take one, hopefully of not too many.
We'll see.
Education.
All downhill. What are you doing?
Is it?
I'm
do you
doing,
think
okay,
it'll-
so we have a flip book
Oh, okay.
that,
Because you kept saying flip, and I was like, I had no idea you could do a flip.
yeah, I know.
Hey, how are your fingernails? Did you do your fingernails on purpose just so that they were gorgeous?
That's just lucky. So where are we? Right here?
Yeah, let me build it.
Bum, ba, da, 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 da,
Okay, so you know what the problem is.
Take three.
Yes.
Teach your kids to love to learn, and they will learn to love to live in a world where there's so much to learn through inspiration, education.
That was it.
Yeah.
That